And we're back, ladies and gentlemen. Keep a good eye out on your pickup collections so that you're following along. Trying to remember. Oh yeah, I know what we're doing in this Pratt.
All right. So you see, I walk into the bank, right? Like I walk into the bank and I go up to the counter and I says to the man, I says to the woman at the front of the counter, the man, you know what I'm saying? And I says, I'll take your finest sandwich. And they're like, sir, we don't have no sandwiches here. And then he says to me, we don't have no sandwiches. And I say, why not? You said you out front. It says, hey, you gotta sub. And I said, and then they says to me, and they says, sir, I'm gonna need you to leave before I have to call the police, mister. You know what I'm saying? And then he says to me, goodbye.
Well, that was an interesting tale of mystery and fascination. Whenever I hear the word sandwich, now, I think back to that part of the Legends playthrough where Ethan just, was reading off Joe. It was the Leave It to Mikey episode that was, in black and white.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just, Ethan's just, all of a sudden...
A man walks into a bar and sees a sign. Hand job, $5. Cheese sandwich, $2.
Is that it?
Yeah, then it goes on and... Because, the big boobed blonde was, giving hand jobs and making cheese sandwiches at the same... Never mind.
What the shit are you talking about?
At any rate, ladies and gentlemen, I believe we are going to be heading down to Norfair in this episode. We've been there a couple times before, but in this part we're going to be, going all the way to the bottom. There are lots of pickups in this place, and they're pretty easy to miss. Kind of a big difference between the original NES game and Zero Mission is that in the original, you could go down to Norfair almost immediately, and you could pretty much keep exploring the entire place if you knew how to use, a...
That sounds like Norfair.
Shut up. And, you could abuse this special glitch jump where, if you blew up a bomb, underneath her foot and then jumped in midair, you could use that to get over places that you need the high jump for. You'd have to do that to, And if you did that, you could get pretty much everything in Norfair before even going to Kraid's Lair, rather. Oh yeah, obviously we've got Shin Spark, and I think I go back here because, I wanted to Shin Spark through the wall, but I forgot to do it for whatever reason. Really. It was quite the interesting task recording... Oh, come on. I'm pretty sure I pressed the B button there, but it was just the controllers.
The controller was bugging out. I pressed the button and you got a fucking...
I mean, here, you hold... Move this D-pad around and imagine trying to control a sprite with that thing.
I could not... I don't think I could control a magical pixie of the forest with this. No, I'm sorry.
Johnny and the sprites. Can you see one? Johnny and the sprites. Do you hear one?
Wait.
Johnny.
Hold on.
And the sprites. Ding.
What is that from? Because
it was a Disney Channel show. It was for little kids. In this part, you can do a Shine Spark to go through the walls. See, I like the Shine Spark as a speedrunning tool. I really do. If I can skip annoying rooms with a well-timed Shine Spark, that's fun. That's interesting. But it's when you'll be seeing, in the next part, some of the worst Shine Spark puzzles in the game, and then you will understand why it is that I hate these oh so much. But it's funny that I bring up Johnny and the sprites, and I'm holding a wireless Wavebird controller at the same time, because Johnny and the Sprites started off as a sort of series of shorts that would air between commercials, you know?
I still have no clue what the fuck that is.
Alright, now I have to look it up and show it to you.
What the hell is...
You don't remember Johnny and the Sprites at all?
I don't remember Johnny and the Sprites, I'm sorry to say. Now what does that have to do with the Wavebird controller?
Here, let me show you this.
That is terrifying.
You don't recognize any of this?
No, I don't.
No, it was kind of behind our time. We were too old for it when it came out, but our sister wasn't, so that's why I remember it. It started off as a series of mini episodes, that would air between commercials. Then it was popular enough to.
Why the hell are we talking about this?
Because you brought up various sprites of the forest and whatnot. So basically, like the first episode of the game was basically Johnny didn't want to stop playing video games, and it was like on a fake console, and the controller was a Wavebird.
Alright.
I don't know why I remember
I'm
that.
Speechless. I don't know what to say.
This part, you do need the speed booster to get past. So I hope you beat Kraid before he came down. Well, actually, you'd need it to have the Various suit to not get killed by this.
If you're a scrub.
This part is actually pretty similar to another part in Super Metroid, like right after you beat Crocomire, but... Speaking of which, Crocomire was going to be in this game, but for some reason he was cut.
He didn't make the team.
Yeah, he didn't make the team. But he has like a full set of sprites and everything, and programming in the game for the boss. Like they just didn't end up having the boss for some reason.
Why would he be in here though? Are there other bosses that weren't in the original Metroid that are in this? Besides like mini bosses and stuff?
Yes. Because like we had those couple of worm bosses we fought earlier. There's gonna be another couple bosses coming up in this part actually. And then there's kind of I don't want to spoil it, but there are a couple of new bosses as well that take place at a certain point in the game.
I'm so excited.
But
that means
there are lots of really kind of cryptic hidden areas in this area. If you know how to use your Shine Spark properly, you can actually get the screw attack early if you know what you're doing. I usually do that when I play, but I figured out that in this room right over here, or it might be a little later down the line. Yeah, you could actually use your Shine Spark to get through this area, but I was just like, fuck it. And last part. Okay, yeah. So like, if you have the screw attack equipped, then like whenever you do like a side jump, like the spinning jump, sort of jump, then like you'll kill any enemy you come in contact with, which is great in the original game because like trying to shoot people was a pain in the dick because you couldn't duck and shoot, like I've said earlier. But in this game, like if you're trying to get some of the pickups in Norfair, actually, like this one in particular down there, it makes it a much bigger pain in the ass to get some of the pickups because like there are areas where they're gonna want you to freeze enemies and then jump on top of them multiple times in order to get to certain power-ups, and if you jump at them from the wrong angle, you'll kill them and have to do it over. This part right here, this little bee thing will come out of the walls and you gotta freeze them and use them as a platform, like twice in the same room. It's an interesting platforming puzzle here, but it's a little, if you have the screw attack and you jump into it wrong, you will kill it and have to start over. And I don't know, I find like it's a pain in the ass to aim at this thing because like it moves too fast, you know?
Moving things are generally harder to shoot.
One thing I really just don't understand why they didn't do is in Super Metroid you can turn every pickup in the game on or off. Now you're gonna want to shoot this dick, because like the easiest way to get the easiest way to get out of this little area is to use like a Shine Spark, and it'll take you all the way back to the right side of the room. But like half the time when I would do my practice playthroughs, I wouldn't kill that guy, and then I'd run back over, and then suddenly he'd unfreeze and run into me, and I'd lose my shine. But no,
that's a good story.
So my advice: you can get the screw attack early, but it's not worth it. Unless if you're not getting 100%, you don't care. It is a possible sequence break though, but then again, it's kind of a sequence break that I'm here to begin with because you need the super missiles to get in here.
Oh, yeah. Scandaler. So this is not like a speed run, but it is.
I was trying to do it as fast as possible for like the end game clock. For like an actual acceptable speed run, I'd have to do it like either single segment, or I'd have to, like, there are a bunch of rules about it, like you can't pause for a certain amount of time, because like if the game doesn't factor that into your time, then like the speedrunning people will like, you know, time all the parts where you're paused and stuff. So like after a while I was just like, you know what, I'm posting this in multiple parts. I want to do this as fast as possible just so that I can show off my own skills, but I don't want to do it single segment because I ran into so many difficulties with the LP curse as it was, so I didn't want to do that. Okay, so admittedly, this was in the original game as well, but you saw like how I just sort of dropped through that lava and didn't take. Apparently, there wasn't lava there. That's a little. It's a little obscura. Not exactly the greatest thing in the world, but when it was in the original game too, so that's why it's here. So, but yep. I've always wondered what those things were. Not the vines, but those red things.
Those are monkeys.
We're still on that old
wearing
chestnut,
the backpats.
Backpats?
Yeah, backpats. The backpats. You go to the store, you go to Eddie Bauer, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, Eddie Bauer's
backpat. 3 for $2.
Yep, there's the wave beam. One thing I really dislike, like getting back to that whole Super Metroid ability to turn things on and off, why I really just don't understand why they could not bring that back, because I hate how like they sort of simplified it for this game. Or in Fusion, like you didn't have the ice beam, so it wasn't a big deal, but with the ice beam, it'll always freeze enemies usually before like they'll die. Which is why I'd always turn it off in Super Mission, because it makes enemies take twice as long to kill.
Metroid Super Mission.
Metroid Super Mission. That totally sounds like a name of like a
fan
super
game?
a super Japanese name.
Oh, like a poorly translated Famicom game.
Yeah.
Metroid Super Mission.
The Metroids. Alright, so in this, you do need the wave beam to get through that area, otherwise you can't destroy those blocks. It's also like, oh yeah.
What the hell is that thing?
It's I think it's called a Kirugiru. I don't know why I know
sounds
that.
English.
Yeah, some of the names for the enemies in these games, not very romanticized. And by romanticized, I mean not originating from Latin roots. Yeah. Very much Japanese people named. Definitely.
Kiro, Giro, Shakira,
Bagheera.
Jason Derulo.
Jason Derulo's Wiggle. God, let me tell you what you could do with that big fat butt. Wiggle.
Stop. I'm gonna need you to stop.
It's as awful as it sounds. At any rate,
it's not made for white nerds playing Metroid. I'll say that much.
So, the music that plays here is actually a remix of Spore Spawn from Super Metroid. Not Metroid Super Mission. I almost said that.
That's like not even the first time that you've said that.
I did
this playthrough. Yeah.
I did. I actually did.
And like one of the earlier parts, you were like Metroid Third Mission or some weird.
No, you were the one who said Metroid.
Yeah, because I was making fun of you for saying. Metroid
no, you said that in like the opening part. Like instead of a dingle and dongle, you said, "Well, greetings, ladies and gentlemen."
No, it's gentles and ladiesmen.
Welcome back to the Mavericks, gay. Today we're playing Metroid Third Adventure.
So wait, is this? So these are 15-minute parts.
Yeah, because we're doing them on Tuesday, Thursday.
Oh, that's our format. Okay.
And because I was doing this post, it was actually easier to keep it within that limit.
Yep. So this Pride is almost a robber.
Yep. And here we made it to Ridley's Lair. And that's something that Eric and I always thought was funny, was just like, they don't call it Kraid's Lair or Ridley's Lair. They call it Kraid and
Yeah,
Ridley.
And then I compared it to Hades. Because, Because it's called Hades, right?
It's called the Underworld, but for some reason in God of War they call it Hades.
No, I think it's technically called Hades.
Well, why would it be called that?
Just like that, because I don't know.
It's so stupid.
Why is this called Ridley?
I don't know. I always thought that was funny. But at any rate, ladies and gentles and ladiesmen, we will be exploring the rest of Ridley's Lair and heading towards Endgame in Part 5.